When I made the last video of specific examples of anime archetypes, I didn't think I would have so much fun with the script and recording and whatnot. There are so many Dede types that I could point out and talk about, but I decided that I wanted to start the next ranking of Dede characters by choosing which archetype of Dede is chosen on a random picker wheel, to which the next chosen Dede will be... Now, before I go into the definition of a Kuudere, I just wanted to mention that any and every subscriber helps this channel keep going and it helps me figure out what to make a video for next. So if you like this kind of content, please click that subscribe button so you don't miss another video going forward. It helps with the algorithm and it also helps me get closer to monetization so I can continue to keep doing what I love. With that out of the way, let's continue with the video. Now, what is a Kuudere? If we look at Wikipedia's definition of a Kuudere, it is stated as a Japanese term for a character who appears to not have emotions. They are often stoic and expressionless, and they remain calm in stressful situations. They are the badasses of the anime world, and their 1,000-yard stares could cut an apple in half from 10,000 yards away if they wanted to. If this video was a romance anime, any Kuudere would tell you to your face without any form of expression all the flaws you have and what turns them off about you 5 times over. And believe it or not, I have 5 whole examples of what I believe to be the greatest Kuuderes in the history of anime. These 5 Kuuderes are some of the most influential characters to come into the world of anime and bring so many different dynamics to their respective show. They pull off the best performance of the definition of Kuudere in my eyes. So once again, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe so you can support the channel. Now let's get to the ranking. My first example is an actually dark one just off her backstory alone, but I'm going with Violet Evergarden from the show Violet Evergarden. Violet is a child of war, and she is a killer. Not just metaphorically. I'm saying she has killed whole divisions of an army, if not battalions. Violet has a kill count that probably rivals Chris Kyle. This is a Kuudere who has lost all her emotion for one reason or another, if she even had any in the first place. After her time in the war, though, you can see how much those events have traumatized her. This story is about Violet and her journey to reintegrate into society from a time of war. She was raised after in a home and very well loved, even if she wasn't understandably able to show any love back. And she couldn't express any emotion if she wanted to. That's why you always see her face as nothing but stone cold. Getting a job as an auto memory doll helps her little by little to get that emotion back, and it's displayed beautifully. The way I see it, Violet goes through not one, but 2 journeys. The first one being her time in the war and losing people she originally loved. And the second one is a caravan into accepting her past as it was and learning how to live with herself in present day and the person she discovers that she can become and be much happier. That is why I believe she truly is one of the greatest Kuuderes of all time. The next one on this amazing list of Kuuderes is Aami Homer from Madoka Magica. You want to talk about suffering? Aami Homer could be the picture you would see if you looked up the definition of suffering in the dictionary. Just like Subaru from ReZero for all we know. She literally turned into a Kuudere. She wasn't born into it. With her power allowing her to go back in time every time she game ends herself, she turns from what was once a bubbly and cheerful school student ready to take on life and school things to someone who has lost any and all emotion and just doesn't give a fuck at all anymore. In the final timeline where the show takes place, Homura is at her most badass and cool. One moment, you'd see the main character talking to an alien cat with 2 tails, and the next moment, that same cat has holes of lead through its head because Homura has seen this shit before. She knows how dangerous they are. She has been through this before. She is stone cold. She even gives her warning to Madoka in a stern yet mysterious manner, and it leaves such a bewildering impression with the viewer. Her powers and demeanor make her one of, if not the most engaging characters in anime over the last 20 years, and certainly one of the best Kuuderes ever created. It feels like everyone always talks about the main character of this next show, but nobody ever talks about the Kuudere who really puts everything into perspective and helps the viewer understand everything. That's why I'm going with Yuki Nagato from The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Yuki is a humanoid in this show, in that she states that she was literally created from an unknown source in the form of a human to observe other humans, in this case being Haruhi and Kyon, the main characters. This humanoid is like those Dandadan aliens where instead of smiling all the time, she has literally no other expression than a resting bitch face. Every conversation, every interaction, every word she speaks evokes nothing. Not even as much as a little smirk. And in an ironic fashion, that makes her not the most boring character in the show. In fact, there are no boring characters here. However, Yuki's underlying purpose makes her the most important out of all. She is literally tasked with preventing disruptions that could destabilize the entire universe. Her delivery of this responsibility, despite her unassuming appearance, makes her role unique in anime. This is the best kind of deceptive Kuudere, and I'm all for it. Depending on your definition of a Kuudere, I think she could reserve a spot somewhere on the Kuudere Mount Rushmore. I sometimes would prefer to not have repeat shows on lists like these, just because it would seem like I'm outright glazing them too much, but where credit is due, credit is absolutely due. And her impact as one of the best Kuuderes cannot be ignored. We're going back to the Evangelion franchise and highlighting Rei Ayanami. If Evangelion as a whole is a story that has so much depth that you'd have to dig down to the Earth's core and then some just to understand even half of it. And Rei Ayanami just might have the craziest depth and story of all. When we're really introduced to her, she's timid, calculated, and mostly emotionless. Mostly. She doesn't quip back to Shinji when they talk, unlike Asuka, and gives off more of a mysterious vibe until you learn about her connection to Shinji's father. Her impact, though, when she does start to show the slightest bit of emotion, is massive. As you progress deeper into the story, you'll start to understand what makes her that way, and for spoilers' sake, I'll say this just to keep it vague. You'll find out why Rei isn't really Rei, but is Rei all the same. It's sick, twisted, creepy, and it's right up my alley. I just love stories like this. Just through sheer popularity alone places her among the greats of the Kuudere trope, and her design, personality, and role in Evangelion will stand the test of time as a Kuudere influential enough to be talked about for many more years to come. Unlike the previous video in the Greatest Anime Dere series, I can't exactly give my take on who exactly would be the greatest Kuudere in anime history for two reasons. One, while Kuuderes definitely have their moments and their highs, they more often than not can fall into a more recognized reputation of being labeled as boring and not fun to watch, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't have that impression once or twice. And number two, because of a lack of personality, you could argue that there's a less amount of great Kuuderes in relative comparison to tsunderes. And this list of Kuuderes is pretty great within its own right, but none of them truly stand out as a certified number one or the GOAT. But to round off this video, the last example of truly great Kuuderes, in my humble, non-biased, completely factually accurate opinion, is Aqua Hoshino from Oshinoko. Like Light from Death Note, this man is a killer, and he'll do anything to get what he wants, except number one, he hasn't killed anybody. Yet. And number two, he's taken the very long way around to do so. Aqua doesn't crack under any sort of pressure. He has been through the worst of what life has to offer, you know, because of what happened in the first episode and all. So this man has nothing to fear. He has been through this before. He doesn't show any expression unless the situation requires it, like in the Tokyo Blade arc. And because of that, even though he's the main character, it's still going to be next to impossible to understand what he's thinking. The way he goes about his plans is methodical and almost maniacal. This is a murder mystery show that takes place in the darkest depths of the entertainment industry. So his commitment to his goals makes him freaking scary. We literally don't even see him smile for like 10 years. Granted the off-screen time skip, but I don't care, I'm counting that. I wrote the script well after season 2 ended, but well before season 3 intends to drop, I believe in what, early 2026? So I'm excited to see Ruby's time in the spotlight now, but I'd like to argue that in the time that Aqua was the main star of the show, pun not intended, his calm, expressionless demeanor has catapulted him to the upper ranks of the greatest Kuuderes to go down in anime. Thank you for watching this video. If you like content like this, it would mean everything if you could hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video. I'm happy to read all your guys' comments, so I'd love to talk about any and all great Kuuderes I might have missed in this video. I have a Twitch channel that I stream multiple times a week, so if you want to stop by and say hi, or if you want to talk anime on there, go follow me. I also have other channels which will be down in the description, so go subscribe to all those channels as well. That's gonna be it from me, guys. Stay cool, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.